All right, let's get started. Tell me something good. Who's got good news to share? Come on.
If I can unmute. Hey, my good news is, and Morgan isn't on this call with us today because she is at the car meeting. We just have a brand new recruit in Grand County. Morgan Keeler joined us yesterday, and a little bragging on our top of the Rockies crew, Carrie George, who just walked in as well, was previous president of the Grand County Board of Realtors. We also have the current president of the Grand County Board of Realtors, Monica Anderson, and Morgan, who just joined us, is the incoming president of the Grand County Board. So This is our shtick. We're happy to have Morgan.
Awesome. And thank you for dropping shtick into the conversation today. Marla, you had your hand up. You're on mute.
Yep. So the last time I spoke, I had a property under contract, and now we're due to close this Thursday.
Nice. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great news.
Great working here is all I can say. We have great support. Will and Ryan are amazing.
They are amazing. That's good.
Thank you guys.
Other good news. Brenda.
Please join myself and Carrie tomorrow for Lunch and Learn. I will be doing Mindset Matters, and Carrie's doing Business Planning 101. That's from 11 to 1 o'clock. Free lunch at the Frisco office.
All are invited. Thank you for saying that. Oh, Will, you just got here, but Marla was bragging on you and all the support you're giving. So thank you for that. Thank you, Brenda, for that share.
Thanks, Marla.
Anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, I want to do one more share before we move on, and you may mention this too. Halloween is Friday, and here at the Frisco Market Center, we get to be part of the Halloween trick-or-treat on Main Street. We're handing out candy. We're doing a potluck. So we encourage anybody and everybody, whether you have kids or not, to come and also invite your friends and your clients and so on and so forth. Potluck. So there's going to be a bunch of different kinds of chilies, some kebabs, and buffalo chicken sandwiches of some sort. Yeah. So come and have fun with us in Frisco.
Fun. Love it. All right, moving on. So we've got some announcements. Savannah Campbell. Savannah, I think I saw you. Savannah, you want to say something about Quantum Leap? Oh, that's today.
It is today. So I am.
Tell us about it.
Today I'll be teaching Quantum Leap here at the Frisco Market Center. Super excited. We have a pretty full room actually. So lunch will be provided. And basically this is just the mindset piece to the business planning. Working on the inner self. So what reflects on the outside actually helps you accomplish your goals. This class was life-changing for me, and what I was able to accomplish in just a year after taking this course was incredible. So if you have the chance to make it, if you're going to be late, that is okay. If you need to leave early, that is okay. I understand. Just would love to have you here.
Awesome. Savannah, can you share also about your role at KW Colorado regarding Next Gen?
Yeah, so I am the Next Gen KW ambassador for this program. This program was originally created for 18 to 29-year-olds. However, anyone can take it. And if you are between the ages of 18 and 29, after taking the course, you're able to go through coaching, and then you also get a $10,000 scholarship after completing that coaching. I was lucky enough to be one of those people to receive the scholarship, and it took me to Miami to go to Her Best Life, which connected me with some really powerful women, and also Wendy Papazon. And
who's also a powerful woman.
Yes, also a very, very powerful woman, and I consider her a close friend. And it's just amazing once you kind of enter into that space, what ends up happening and the buzz that creates around it. So if you guys have questions about it, or if a market center, if a different market center wants to bring me in for this class, or if you guys are running any kind of KW fundraiser for Quantum Leap, let me know. I'm happy to be a resource for this.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Savannah. And thank you for being the ambassador for KW Next Gen for the Colorado region. Brenda mentioned our lunch and learn tomorrow in Frisco, and Leslie mentioned the trick or treat. Rebecca is teaching a Rocky Mountain Educational Services class called Power Through the Shift, and that's also happening in Frisco. So both market centers use the Rocky Mountain Educational Services to add to training, and this is a Top of the Rockies class, and we're doing a blood drive on the 24th there as well. Save the date for ALC Clinic with Gene Rivers in Denver. That's November 19th. That's at the Aquarium. And then we've got the holiday parties coming up for both market centers. Last week, we announced that Jay Shetty is going to be the keynote speaker at Family Reunion this year. Jay is a mindset guru, and looking forward to that. 2 more announcements regarding Family Reunion, which just popped yesterday. All day Sunday at Family Reunion, we're doing something called Social Media Con. And I think it's really in right now to add the word con to the end of whatever you're doing in terms of an event. Andy, is that true? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah. So Gary and our new Chief Marketing Officer, Sandra, and I can't think of her last name, they decided that as part of Family Reunion this year, we're going to take a whole day and just work on helping our businesses grow through social media. And actually yesterday I was leading the growth call, and Gary and Sandra did the announcement about this. And one thing that they said that I think is important for us is they struggled a little bit with the name, and they struggled with the name because they were trying to find a name that's broad enough to encompass everything that we're doing. Social Media Con is about social media. It's about AI. It's about video. It's about everything surrounding social media and how to use digital platforms to get the word out about your real estate business. So if you haven't signed up for Family Reunion yet, this is the Sunday agenda. It is not an extra thing. It is the thing, but we're just making it a concerted effort on Sunday to talk social media. And also as part of that, Ryan Leak is going to be speaking. Ryan Leak was at, I get my events mixed up. So I think he was at Mega Camp, and he was at the CEO Summit. He is an amazing speaker. If you want to hear a great story, go on to YouTube and Google Ryan Leak. What does he call it? Ryan Leak wedding. And you will see his, has anyone seen this? You'll see his video. He asked his wife to marry him, and they got married that same day. It's a really fascinating story, and you'll get a flavor for what this guy's all about. Ryan Leak, Leak wedding. Very cool story. I want to share a couple stats on luxury. Luxury last month for KW as a whole was way up. And, sometimes we are painted as a company that is sort of mid-road. And that's true. We do all things, right? We sell all types of houses. And, but it's really great, I think, especially in the areas where we're doing business, to have some details and some statistics. Hold on a second. Marielle, are we recording?
Yes.
Thank you. Last week, folks, we forgot to record, so sorry about that. We do a lot of luxury business. This year, 19,000 to date, luxury listings sold, totaling 31 billion. On the buyer side, 19,600 buyers closed. Total luxury closings, 38,064 billion. 5,900 referrals, which I think is so important for us in the mountains to think about. Are you getting your unfair share of referral business at KW? Are you communicating with 140,000 agents and reminding them that you're the choice for referrals in the mountains of Colorado? 19,000 of our agents have done transactions that relatively speaking would be considered luxury. I know $1 million isn't luxury where we're doing business, but you get the point. In September, and this is a lot. So in September, we had 4,300 transactions as a company that were considered luxury transactions. That's a big jump from last year. And last month, 4,200 of our agents did a luxury transaction. Luxury hotspots, the places where we're doing the most business: California, New Jersey, Texas, Florida, and then it goes from there. So just a few stats that I think might be helpful for you when you're meeting with luxury clients to show them what we do. Some recognition, featured new listings: Jocelyn in Silverthorne, 2.4 million. Monica in Fraser, 620,000. Scott Thompson in Estes, 1.5 million. Congrats on your new listings. On the Vale side, Laura Lynn and Sarah, 1.8 million. Daniela, 1.3 million, and Team Black Bear, 1.5 million. Great new listings. Let's get them sold. All right. Today, we've got Andy Hannigan. I've known Andy since 2010. He's the owner of a team in St. Louis, Missouri. They serve both Missouri and Illinois. He's a real estate investor. He's a coach with MAPS, active in his community. And he's going to be talking about some AI strategies to get listings sold. Andy's greatest accomplishment was getting married to Jamie. Was that a year ago, Andy?
Yep. Last time I combed my hair was for my 1-year anniversary. So you're welcome, Russ.
Yeah, thank you for combing it today too. So Andy, take it away and talk to us about AI and how you're using it to get more listings sold.
Well, it's very simple for me. Is I just talk to AI. I role play with it. I sharpen my message and I ask it to do certain things or explain certain things to me as simple as possible, so I can maybe pick up some tips, because I can be very verbose and some of my explanations get really convoluted unless I practice ahead of time. I don't know if I'm any different than anyone else, yet it is practice and role play that you can do at any time. There's no unreliable role play partner that after the first week of Bold, they start wanting to chat or not showing up to the call. There's not somebody who's less skilled than I am. It's just a conversation between two individuals, and one individual just happens to be non-human and have all the access to all the data you would really want to have a conversation with your clients. So it's very simple and very easy for me to do that on the way to a listing appointment, on the way from a listing appointment, to see what I could have said better when I'm if things didn't go well or it could have went better, and really just to sharpen my sword. So again, it's nothing that we're not already doing. It's just way more convenient and at our disposal now than ever before. So I would say that's the main number one way I bring value to my clients and my business through AI.
Okay, awesome. So you're going to do a demo for us today, right?
Yeah, we'll do a little mini role play with Ryan. I could do some with my listings, but it doesn't matter because I'm in St. Louis. So we decided somebody local, so it makes a little bit more sense to you guys. And we'll show you what AI is capable of. And again, I'm not selling anybody on anything. I should have the disclaimer because I was at Mega Camp after Gary decided to can everything and just cover all AI. And there were a bunch of people, including MAPS coaches, that just looked like deers in headlights after it was over. They were overwhelmed. They're like, am I behind? I don't know how to do any of this. And the thing is, I'm not going to share anything with you that I didn't learn within the first 2 hours of playing with it, focused playing with it. So it's not anything that you can't catch up with today. I mean, legitimately, it's not going to replace you. It's more like a junior research assistant who's still pretty bad at their job. And yet you can bounce all ideas off of, and it can give you ways to refine your messages when it does get the information right. But again, we still got to be the experts. We still got to do the data. And, you know, Russ, I know is because he was my team leader for what, 10 forgettable years. I mean, so
Yeah.
he pumped us full of data. And so I know he does the same for you. He sent me the data for Eagle County. So it's fresh in my mind. If I see anything wrong, if I hear anything wrong, because we'll have a phone conversation with AI, I'll be able to question it and say, "Are you sure about that?"
Yep.
And Ryan and I, we were role playing and practicing yesterday with this, and he was saying the same thing. It's like, yeah, it's in the ballpark. I'm more right than it is, but it's in the ballpark, and it'll help me with my conversation. So, Ryan, are you available to kind of read what we did yesterday?
Let me pop him in here. Okay.
There you are, Ryan. Okay, I'm going to call AI, and if you don't know how to do that, Ryan was like, "Wait, how do you do that?" You see, there's this little. I'm on ChatGPT, by the way. I'm not. All the 5 generative AIs, this one's just the most frequently used. I prefer Claude or Grok for some of these conversations, but we'll just use ChatGPT because it's the most prominent right now. But all you want to do if you want to call somebody is that little white dot in the lower right-hand corner, and you'll just get on the horn with them. And you see this here is a bug with them that they haven't removed, but this blue kind of circle, that's the text or the voice bubble where they start talking. So I'm going to talk to the AI right now. Well, actually, give me 1 second. Hey, hold on. I'll talk to you, ChatGPT, in a second. I'm putting it on mute. So Ryan, you got a listing.
Time, and whenever you're back in, just let me know. I'll be here.
All right. So Ryan, you got a listing that it took 80 days to get under contract, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And I'm going to have you talk to my AI. That way you haven't trained it. You don't know anything about this except for just the 5 minutes of conversation you had with it yesterday. And you're going to ask them some questions to help you get some insight on that listing. You ready to talk to it?
Yeah. Hi, Chat. I had a listing at 196 Spring Creek Lane in Edwards, Colorado, 81632, and it took us 80 days to get the home under contract.
Got it. So 196 Spring Creek Lane in Edwards took about 80 days to get under contract. If we're looking at that, that's a good benchmark for how the market's moving in that area. If you need to chat more about what might have caused that timeline or how it compares to other listings, just let me know.
Yeah, Chat.
Yes. Go ahead.
So, yeah, can you give us any ideas, Chat, on why it took 80 days to get that property under contract?
Absolutely. So if it took around 80 days, a few possible reasons come to mind. One is just the overall market pace in that part of Edwards. If the months of inventory in there are leaning more balanced or even favoring buyers, homes naturally take a bit longer to move. Absolutely. So if it took about 80 days, a few things could have been in play. One possibility is just the general market conditions around Edwards at that time. If the market's a bit more balanced or even leaning toward buyers, then longer days of market are pretty normal. It could also be something like the initial pricing strategy. Maybe it was priced a bit above what buyers were comfortable with and needed a small adjustment. Or it might have been about visibility. Maybe you needed a little extra marketing push or a refresh in the listing photos. So overall, it's probably a combo of market timing, pricing, and how the property was presented. And now that you've got it under contract, you can use those insights for the next listing.
So what are the months of inventory in Vail, Colorado right now?
Right now, Vail is sitting around that balanced range of about 4 to 6 months of inventory. That means it's neither a super strong seller's market nor a buyer's market. It's pretty balanced out there, which also explains why some listings might take a bit of time to get traction. So that's the current snapshot.
All right, so we have that information right now, and we're going to keep that in mind as we ask it a couple additional questions because we quizzed it. Ryan has all the answers to the quiz, so we'll see how right ChatGPT is. And again, it might give us a different answer than yesterday, Ryan. That's fine. If it gives us a better answer, awesome. But we'll see why he thinks it went under contract and what it went under contract for, and we'll ask him to predict that. Though a couple things you can do, I know that prompts are usually something that are being sold. I've got the best, hottest prompt. Honestly, prompts are just frameworks for conversation. If you know what kind of limits you want to have with that you want to put on your conversation partner and your ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini, that's all you really need more than anything else. A lot of experts are saying prompts are still important, but they're only important to teach you how to kind of put rules to the conversation so it's more streamlined and efficient. You get more what you want. So I wouldn't go out of my way to either purchase or master a ton of prompts. You're going to figure out what you want in a conversation partner as you play with it. So I'm going to ask it a couple questions. So take a look at that listing of Ryan's and let me know what your thought with of the initial price based on the market conditions in Vail, Colorado. And then also give me a guess now that it's under contract on what you think it's going to sell for based on comparable listings in the area. And I'm just muting it so that Ryan and I or anybody else can.
Scoop. Listing on 196 Spring Creek Lane initially went up for about $6.55 million and then got a price cut down to $6.2 million. That price reduction probably helped to go under contract. Even the Vail area's median home price is around $1.7 billion, and homes are taking roughly 83 days to sell. That lines up pretty well with the timeline you saw. My guess is it'll likely close somewhere around that final reduced price. So probably in the low 6.2 million range, assuming the comp support it.
Where's it at, Ryan?
5,985.
So we're within what, 300,000?
Yeah.
Now, percentage-wise, I'm not going to do that math right now, but it's close-ish, right?
Yeah.
It's about 5%, and you know that 5% plus or minus is that, you know, if you any type of statistics, you know that's within that range of feasibility from pricing and what things can go for. So what I'm looking at here, and the reason we did this, and we'll do a little bit more with ChatGPT to help everyone, but this is a role play you can do before you get with your clients. But as a coach, we have found out that when you get information, a third-party information from something like a ChatGPT, and they're giving feedback to the client's way less likely to insert their ego into the reaction. They're way less likely to be emotional about things. Again, this isn't
tell us more about that, Andy.
Well, when you're having an algorithm and a program, in this situation, it's a generative AI or a large language model, it's taking all the data available online and formulating some type of analysis or opinion. And when they're having a data bank-based conversation, and it's not a human, it's an inanimate object that just happens to speak English to us, it's giving you an analysis that it's of what it's seen. It's just calling it out how it is. There's no face, there's no person to blame. It's not accepting a commission from you, so they can't go, I'm paying you and you're to give me this bad information. What it's doing is just giving you the facts. And so
you're saying that, like, if AI says you look bad in those jeans, it's easier for them to take than if I say you look bad in those jeans.
Absolutely, yes. And even though you've told me that many, many times,
Yeah.
AI would have made it hurt a little less.
Yeah.
So, and that's the big thing. They're not going to attack you. And in my challenge to anybody who will get comfortable enough having these conversations is to have the conversation with AI in front of your clients if you're not getting the results you're wanting based on pumping them with data. And again, there's tools like the total market overview. There's tools like the Eagle County statistics that Russ sent me. There's plenty of statistics out there that will show you that listings that stay on the market longer are listings that go stale and sell for less, significantly less as far as asking price is concerned. The listings that sell the fastest are the ones that sell in the first 2 to 3 weeks. But you can share that with them, but they may, again, the client may just automatically think, well, this person just wants me to lower my price so they can sell it faster and make a commission. Well, the answer is yes, that's true. Yet also it's true that it will benefit you as well, and you will make more money by selling it faster. If you need ChatGPT to back you up, again, as a junior research assistant that's still somewhat trying to learn how to do its job, it can give you information and it can give your clients information that they may take less personally. And I've witnessed that both with coaching clients and with buyers and sellers. When it's a great tiebreaker. Let's ask ChatGPT. You think your house is worth $4 million, and I think your house is worth $250. We're a little bit different in St. Louis price point wise. So let's see. This is a great tiebreaker. Where do we think we need to be? All right. Well, and they still may be a little high because most of the generative AIs, they err on flattering the user, so the user uses it more, right? So you got to understand that $300,000 hedge that we looked at, that projection, that probably is to make sure that their feelings aren't hurt too much, that they use a different generative AI. But either way,
you're making a really good point there, Andy. Like the way these large language models work, it's like a dopamine rush. It's designed to get you coming back. So every time you give it something or ask it to do something, it's going to side on making you feel good about it. Like I'll have it help me create an outline for a meeting, and every time I say, but what about this? It'll respond with, that's a brilliant idea. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it can hurt you if you don't recognize it's doing that.
Well, about 4 months ago, I asked all 5 generative AIs that I have, hey, who are the top 10 realtors you would recommend in the St. Louis area for buying and selling? And they, all but one of them, and it was Grok that didn't do this, they named 10 realtors that weren't me, and then they said, and Andy Hannigan, of course. So it's still flattering you. And the thing with it is, too, if you want to dig deeper into it so you understand this information better, you can log out of the phone conversation you're having with ChatGPT, check the text format, and to the right, you can look at the different sources that they're citing and the different websites where they got their main information from. This allows you to vet their information, and then you can correct and say, I don't want you going to Redfin anymore. Redfin, actually, I kind of like their data, but I don't want you going to Redfin anymore. I want you to go to the Fed's website and National Association of Realtors for their data. And it'll correct itself, and it'll say, okay, here's what the data shows there. Or I'll say, can you name your 5 sources and how they different, how they're different? Is there a range there, and who's at the top, who's at the bottom of their projections, right? I think if anybody, what is that social media realtor publication? Is it Keeping Current Matters or Keeping Matters Current? Something like that. Matters. Yeah, Keeping Current Matters. They aggregate different projections from reputable research companies or from reputable real estate companies as to what price projections are going to be nationally for 2026. They might have 5 projections there and then do the average score of that. You can coach your generative AI into doing that as well for you and creating your own graphics so you don't have someone else's logo or Keeping Current Matters logo in your posts or in your email or however else you're getting this information out to your data bank.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the big thing is, and again, we wanted to work just with the pricing conversation first and get its take on things. Like if Ryan didn't have it under contract and he went to a listing appointment and the listing wasn't on the market currently, he could easily ask ChatGPT or again, your generative AI, hey, I'm at a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in Vail, Colorado at this part of town. It's got a finished basement. It's 4,000 square feet, 2-car garage detached, and it's on a 2-acre lot. What do you think this is going to go for? I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the updates and the condition are as good as you can get for the area without over improving, and 0 is bulldoze it over. I'd say it's about an 8. With that information, what would you say this house would go for in today's current market? And you can ask them what the answer is right in front of your client after having already gone through the pricing conversation and the comps. And you can feed them some of these comps as well, feed the AI some of these comps as well, so it can also make a more educated guess if you'd like. All of that can be done just by texting the link to it or screenshotting any PDF and then feeding it the photo or the image in a screenshot format of whatever PDF has the additional market information on it. You can make it smarter and you can give it more information so it makes a better educated guess for sure.
Okay.
Ryan, did you want to quiz ChatGPT in any other way with your listing in particular? We can start looking at the housing affordability index or talk about go a little bit further into the months of inventory. Just so, again, this can explain maybe more simply than you or I can to your clients what months of inventory means and how that impacts their listings value or their property's value, and the affordability index. How does that help you understand the buyer pool and what they're willing to pay or not pay in this market?
Yeah. Well, something else I just want to make that doesn't necessarily have to do with market conditions for you all on the call. I've been using, Russ has signed us up to use BrokerBot, and I've cross-referenced it with ChatGPT and Perplexity. And something else to keep in mind, because I think oftentimes as agents, we're programmed to do business a certain way, and with this new technology, even I forget to use it. Even when you have a contract question, and this can, ties into Will's world a little bit. Like if you have a complicated contract question, even I've used AI and just uploaded contracts or uploaded inspection objections and say, hey, chat, help me understand what this means and how do I come up with a reasonable resolution. Even last night, I was dealing with a tough one, and I said, hey, chat, would you give me some tips on how to negotiate this using Chris Voss's method and never splitting the difference? And it gave me some prompts and scripts to use to communicate with the seller and to communicate with the buyer's agent on how to use words, good question asking, building empathy with the other party, coming to a mutual agreeable facts. And then it spit out exactly how to write the resolution. So that's something else that a little off script, Andy, that I think it's just good to remember is if you get yourself into a position where you just don't know the answer to something, whether it's pricing a home, dealing with objections, or even managing a contract that you may not understand the finer points, these tools work exceedingly well.
Absolutely. And I think understanding, and we as realtors probably already know a lot of this. And I know that Russ knows a lot of this, but if you're looking at the housing affordability index or the months of inventory or days on market, those are all metrics that can lend themselves to helping people understand if we're in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. And again, role playing with ChatGPT. In fact, again, going back to the prompts versus just teaching people how to, or teaching your ChatGPT how to talk to you. Right before this call, I was going, hey, explain to me like I'm 5 what months of inventory means. And their analogy fell flat with me because it was about cookies in a cookie jar or something. I'm like, I don't mean explain to a 5-year-old, explain to like a 5-year-old level of intelligence, but still can understand the quantitative meaning behind 6 months of inventory, 8 months of inventory, 4 months of inventory, and how that impacts me as a homeowner in that region, right? And so you can play with it, and I'll say, we ran out of time. I'm like, give me another analogy. And it got off the toys and cookies and things like that in grandma's house, and it started talking about the, ones and twos. But what it does is allows you to simplify your message, so that way, if your clients aren't the most numbers based and they get overwhelmed by that, you can go slower and simpler and really chunk it down to very simple elements, and then you just have a better, more enhanced communication with your clients. And it's extremely important to do that because, as we are in this transitioning market, you're getting national news that says it's a buyer's market more than it's saying it's a balanced or a seller's market. And the reason being is because they're measuring national information. And the West and the South are overwhelmingly buyer markets. Yet the Midwest and the Northeast, with the few exceptions in the Northeast, are still strong sellers markets, right? And Redfin, if you look at Redfin, they say that places like St. Louis are a balanced market. Well, I haven't had a listing that didn't go multiple offers, save for my investor REO friendly ones, in a very, very long time. And it still isn't the case. And that's been the case for a lot of agents around here. So even though on paper it looks like a balanced market, we're going to be able to at least say, here is what it looks like on paper. and here's what our experience is on being on the front lines and seeing this every day. And then you can ask that. You can even ask ChatGPT, why does it say it's a balanced market in St. Louis, even though all the data and experience that we're having says differently? Days on market, the amount of what a listing goes for when it sells in under 30 days. And they'll go, well, there's a lot of issues with Redfin's, how Redfin tracks buyers. They think buyer inventory is extremely overstated, right? And so those are things that now you have. So when your clients, let's say the high Cs, and they're looking for confirmation bias, they're looking for information that confirms what they want to hear and not you. You can also go back and say, well, I did do a little bit of research on that. And here's the thing. If you're looking at Redfin they don't embellish on purpose, but they do overpronounce the amount of available buyers that are out there. If that were the case, we'd be seeing this. We don't. Here's the end data. It's this. Now, we could be moving into a balanced market. We might see that in 90 days, but as of right now and in the last 6 months, this is what we're looking at, and all that data shows it's a seller's market more than anything else, right?
Andy, in our last 2 minutes here,
yeah,
what for those listening, what would be some things that we should use AI for, in around this topic right now? What are some takeaways?
The first thing I would do is don't half-ass it. Map out 2 hours of uninterrupted time where there's no beeps, dings, buzzes, rings, kids or dogs barking or crying, and just sit down and play with it. It's going to get super intuitive, but it's going to get super intuitive for your needs and your business's needs, because you already know what you need and what you're missing. This is a super convenient research tool. It's not exhaustive. It's not complete. It's not the ultimate research tool. It's super convenient. And when things don't seem right, you can dig deeper into it. Know your numbers, pay attention to everything that your market centers in your region send you as far as numbers are concerned, like the lore, like these snapshots or the total market overviews, and then pay attention to that. So that way, when you are having a conversation with generative AI, you know when they're wrong and you know where it's failing you, and you can bridge those gaps because you're still the expert.
Yeah,
I would start with just that, and I'd keep it that simple. I could go in a bunch of flashy things and say a bunch of proverbs and everything like that to get you guys all fired up around it, but don't do all that. Let's just stick with substance. Clear out 2 hours of uninterrupted time. Don't half-ass it, and just play with it. Talk to it, communicate with it, call it out, and you can be a little mean to it if you need to. It actually starts acting right when you do that.
and using specific examples like Ryan did with his property is a really great way to figure out how AI can help you speak to your clients and even have tougher conversations with your clients that are hard to tell them directly. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Andy. Appreciate your being with us today.
Always.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Savannah, you are up, and Savannah's going to talk briefly about signature agent services. Savannah.
Hello, everyone, again. Just as a reminder for your guys' office, we do offer these special marketing packages that comes in a digital form. We have talked to printers up by each office as well, so if you need us to directly send it to the printer, we can do that. But just wanted to make a reminder there that these are available for you guys for your luxury listings. And Russ is the one that actually had come to us about this. And so he had his hand in with the design as well, just from other luxury markets as well. So this is really tailored to you guys, and we're super excited to offer these. But additionally, I wanted to bring some value to you guys as well today and talk about what we're seeing the most right now with transactions, and that is transactions falling through during inspection period. This is where we're noticing the biggest influx of terminations coming over across the board. I think nationwide they're reporting this as well. And I just want to talk about some key points that you guys can be doing to help get past this period before the offer is even submitted. So when it comes to having buyers, obviously having that conversation, right? Setting that expectation with them, explaining to them what the inspection is for. asking for that seller's property disclosure ahead of time. So if there's something on there that can make the buyer a little bit nervous, having specialists go out while you're having that inspection. The biggest thing that you can do during the inspection period for sellers or buyers is having trusted vendors in your back pocket, that if you're at the show and you're like, that roof looks like it might need repair, or, you know, we saw a weird leak, we need to make sure we have a thermo guy go out there. Have those people so they can go out to the inspection, not just have the inspector go out. And I think the biggest mark with setting expectation with buyers is they think that the inspector is knowledgeable about everything. They are not. They are a general doctor. They're a general doctor, and what does a general doctor do when you have something going on? If it's gut related, skin related, anything like that, you go and you see a specialist. So have the specialist ready and help explain that to your client. Additionally, having emails before the inspection period for your buyer. We have a template that's set up explaining to the buyer, hey, break it out in 3 categories. 1, it has to get done, or you're going to be terminating. 2, you're willing to have it either done or take a credit or find kind of a middle ground solution on the item. Or 3, they're kind of throwaway items. It'd be great if they get done, but they know if they don't get done, they're still moving forward with that contract. Because then when the negotiations start, you can go, well, remember that was a 3. You didn't care if that didn't get done. The more important things are getting done. It helps, again, set that expectation with them. When it comes to sellers start freaking out when they see specialists coming out to the property. So set that expectation ahead of time of what the home inspection looks like. And I am happy to share the email with you guys that we send out. And it basically just explains, hey, this is everything that can happen in an inspection. We had an incident where an inspector went to go test an outlet and he unplugged something super important for the seller. That was a medical thing. And so we tell them, hey, make sure you label those things so that doesn't happen, because if you have negotiations with a seller and they're pissed off because the inspector did something, trying to reason with them becomes even more difficult. So after 11 years, I've kind of seen it all through the inspection period. And these are just helpful things that we've realized by proactively being in front of it. We've really helped clients come into the situation much calmer. So hopefully that's helpful.
Thank you, Savannah. I appreciate it. Remember, if you want someone to do the marketing for your listing, take care of the paperwork for your under contract, or even get your contract ready for you, Savannah and her team are available to help you at a super duper low cost. We mentioned this last week. We are working on a big project to improve our digital marketing. We'll be launching a new website that will cover all the mountain areas. It is very cool, and I can't wait to show it to you. It is in design, launching Q1. Next week, Allie Flanagan Napier, Joan, is going to be talking, this time slower and more simply, about some AI hacks. I know we're pushing a lot on AI, folks, but we feel like it's important, and we feel like it is a way for us as a team to stand out and be better than our competition. That's why we're investing a lot of time in it. Speaking of AI, we're launching this tool called BrokerBot next week, on the 11th, and you're going to see and I'm showing it to you right now to show you what it looks like. The reason we're taking some time before launching it is the leadership team, we are going through and we are talking to it. We are asking it questions. It is like a mashup of ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity, but it is specific to real estate. This tool just won the Inman Innovator Award for 2025. And we've got it for you. We are training it now so that on the 11th, we will be able to launch it and give everyone access to it and you'll have it in real time. And then on the 18th, we will not meet due to many of us being at the ALC clinic in Denver. So hope this was a helpful session for you. See you next week with Allie Flanagan Napier. AI and social media. You're going to love it. Talk soon, everybody.